Okay, we are live. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 50 of the Security Podcast on the In30 Podcast Radio, whatever network you want to call us. I'm Chaim Cohen. We're joined with Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, guys.
And Tom said he had a topic for us today, and I think it's basically just let's just reiterate some of the stuff we've been talking about for the past year. Some protections, what to do, what should you listen to, and how to go from there. So, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Just hang on. Just gonna check the latest breaches here.
And there've been a lot of them.
It says here, everything is breached. I should light my wallet on fire and await new cards. Okay.
That's about it. I mean.
Oh, go ahead and throw this away.
Well,
yep.
So what Tom is famously talking about is all the major stores, Home Depot, a few others, P.F. Chang's way long time ago, but still have been hacked. Your credit card numbers are gone.
Yeah.
And
oh man.
Well, it's one of those credit cards offer you this convenience of paying with the credit card to literally not carry cash. Now, if you want to take advantage of the other perks that the credit cards have to offer, that's one thing. But if you're juggling a kid, you're juggling 10 bags, and instead of counting your money, oh shoot, I didn't go to the ATM, I don't have money, writing a check, you have this piece of plastic, you swipe, and you do get protections on it. Credit cards are great. But there's another layer there that can be stolen that has your personal identifiable information and everything else.
Yeah, it's, for as much as, people are kind of loathing credit cards and credit card numbers today, and the general feeling of, I'm just going to use this for like 3 months. I'm going to shop at like Bob's Fish Emporium, and everything's going to get hacked and leaked again, and I'm just going to have to throw out this card and get a totally new card number and put everything different into Amazon and just LastPass. They do offer a lot of really great protections. For instance, personal story, once there was a company that was trying to bill me for something that I didn't purchase at all. So I called the company because they had sent an invoice. I sent a bill, and they said, hey, thank you for your payment. You paid this much. I said, hold on a minute. That's not quite right. So I called, explained the situation, and I got some pushback from customer service. And they said, well, sir, we clearly have your credit card. You clearly purchased something from us. And I said, no. I didn't. And I'm actually being nice by calling you. It would be much easier for me to, give the bank a call, explain the situation to them, and just have this line item completely removed. But instead, I'm giving you the opportunity to go through your process and, not encounter chargeback fees from Visa, MasterCard, any of the other companies. Eventually, the company did work with me to get everything taken off and to investigate how this could have happened in the first place. But we've all been there. We've all, most of us have had a credit card breach or leak or get lost or stolen or something, and we either get a phone call from the bank, which is terrifying, or we have to call the bank and say, hey, I kind of lost my wallet at the theme park, and we're gonna have to cancel all my cards. Like, that's never a fun conversation. It's a terrifying conversation when the bank calls you and they say, Mr. Webster, were you in Madrid last night? And you're just like, well, I got some wings and I had a couple beers with the guys. I don't seem to remember things getting that crazy. I don't think I made it to Madrid. And they said, did you...
The sad part is I've been in Madrid, and I've gotten the phone call and say, why, yes, I am in Madrid. They said, sorry, we're canceling your call. You should have called us beforehand. It's like, now what do you do?
Yeah, I've gotten that call as well.
Credit cards are great, and there's some rules that you really need to follow, and there's a few things that you should really take, you should take precautions in. But my biggest praise of specifically American Express, and I know they all do it, but Amex does it better, is two things. 90 days, no questions asked. You break something within 90 days, as long as it's not lost or stolen, and even there's some wiggle room. They just give you the money back. It's great. It's just my dad bought what was recently. I mean, I don't buy that many high ticket items, so when I call them for $200, it's not worth investigating. So like my Fitbit, it got wet, it broke. Fitbit said something. I said, okay, you're not going to replace it because you said this and that. I called Amex up. They replaced it. They said, I mean, it's $100. What are they going to do? They're going to make you send it back to them. They're going to argue over it with you. They're not. They're just going to say, you know what? Here you go. My sister came back from Puerto Rico, and then the next protection is they double the warranty up for a year. So my sister came back from Puerto Rico with her Samsung S2, which had this weird bug that just randomly bricks your phone after like 18 months.
Fun.
It's called like the 18-month bug, where all of a sudden your phone just gets bricked, and T-Mobile's like, there's nothing we can do, you're going to buy a new phone. It's like, well, I'm still paying it off, remember? The 2-year, you get to do all this, and I can't sell it now. So like, yeah, sorry. She called that Amex. It was a phone, so they have some policy that you got to return the phone, but you got $550.
Very nice. So, yeah, credit cards give you some really great protection. Let's say, you're going to buy some product from some guy that you don't know. I don't know why he would, be using a credit card machine, but let's say you buy something that's a dud, or that's broken, or that doesn't meet your expectations, or was, totally contrary to what you thought you were buying. You can call up if the company is going to hassle you. If they're going to start yelling at you and give you a hard time, you can call up the credit card company and be like, hey, Visa, guys, look, this situation happened. This thing's really shady. I feel like I'm getting ripped off here. And Visa will say, hey, don't worry about it. It's cool. It's on us. We'll take it up with the seller. It's kind of like PayPal if they really had, a lot of weight thrown behind them against every single purchase you make, against every single swipe. So it's got a lot of great protections. But, credit card numbers are getting leaked everywhere, all the time. Especially this year. We've seen tons and tons of breaches. Should we panic? Are you panicking? Should I panic?
I'm not panicking only because the credit card companies don't hold you liable for it. They used to be where there would be a $50 fee for this, so a wallet of 5 cards or 6 cards would be $300. So that would be a big expense of the stupid tax that you would have to pay. But you're not liable for it. They just hand you a new card. So it's easy enough to go back into LastPass and just choose it. The hard part is going to the sites that you save the cards in. But for the most part, if I'm not liable for anything, I really don't care all that much. Am I wrong?
No, you're entirely right. Sorry about that. Video cut out for a little bit. But no, you're entirely correct. There's really nothing to worry about. As long as you watch things, as long as you keep track of it, then it's really on the bank. It's on Visa. It's built-in protection. You don't have to worry about, having your bank account drained. Just keep an eye on things because it can take just a little bit of time to sort of, get stuff backfilled or work with the credit card company or the bank to get your money back. It's best if you catch it early because it's really easy to fix early on, and it gets harder and harder as you go down, the road of time.
I will say, because I looked into this, I mean, I hear people talking about use a debit card instead, and debit cards are the best, and all these great things. But a lot of the banks, the big banks, say with the debit cards, you have to report fraud within 24 hours of you knowing it. So if you lose your card and they can somehow prove that it wasn't 24 hours, your liability is 100%. And this is specifically on debit cards. So it's one of those. And the other issue that I have with debit cards is that the money is taken out of your account first. When you use that debit card and you charge $50, $100, the money is gone. So if you meet some shady whatever, and you buy something maybe you shouldn't be buying and you want to return it, now you're tied up. They have your money until you fight. Whereas the credit cards, and this is why I like them so much, Amex or Visa or MasterCard Discover puts the money out and then you pay them back. They have a lot more clout behind them to get their $100 versus you, who has to fight by yourself for that $100.
Right. So imagine if you are going up against, let's say, a pizza shop, and you hand the guy some cash, and the pizza was horrible, it wasn't on time, whatever, and you want a refund for the pizza. This is probably a horrible example, but bear with me. And pizza shop man is going to say, "Oh no, I already got your money. Whatever. Go away. You don't ever have to shop here again. Go pound sand." You can go. Let's say Visa comes up to the guy and they say, "Yeah, about that. You're going to have to either give us some money back, refund us that money for that purchase, or you just can't take Visa cards anymore. We're just not going to process any more Visa card payments." I mean, that is pretty huge. Or even worse, they don't have to go straight to the nuclear method. Visa or Chase or MasterCard or whoever your issuing card company is can go up and say, "Hey, that really nice 1% fee we've got on any transactions? It'd be, they get the baseball bat out of the trunk. It'd be a shame if that were to go up to like 5 or 6%. It'd be a real shame." I mean, it's scary as a business owner to see those fees rise and know that there's nothing you can do about it. You really have to play ball with these companies. And yeah, it can be bad for a business owner. It can be dangerous. And it's not always morally correct, right? These are companies. These aren't saints.
And look, this is all assuming that you pay your bill on time. I mean, none of this makes any sense if you're saddled with credit card debt. Biggest thing we teach in financial literacy is, here's the thing: the 1% you're getting back on your money on those miles or whatever are useless if you're paying 14% in interest. It makes no sense. So all these protections you're getting, this is assuming that it works 100% of the time, or it works all the time, but you have to pay your fee, and if you have a credit card balance, then you're just losing out. You're paying some weird insurance scheme that you're not getting back. That's why they can do it. Okay, so they give you $100 back for whatever tchotchke you bought that broke. That's fine. They're just making $15 finance charge fee, then 20% interest and everything else. You've paid them that $100 back more than once.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't pay, you would have gotten it. You paid
the insurance does cost money. It's not free.
Yeah. So with that said, remember, they are businesses. They are in the business of making money, and a lot of money at that. So,
and I didn't mean to turn security in 30 into finance in 30. The main topic and the thing I wanted to make sure people understand, first and foremost, is look, every other week I'm hearing about a brand new giant credit card breach. I shop at Target, I shop at Home Depot, I shop at Neiman Marcus, I shop at insert big box name store that just got hacked here. Should I freak out? The answer is no. Don't freak out. You're probably getting some free, credit monitoring something or other out of it for a year or so. That's kind of nice. I think it's kind of useless unless you get a really nice, reputable company behind it. I've used certain products before with varying degrees of effectiveness. But I've had credit cards breached. I've had numbers leaked. I've had, I've been shopping at big box retailers, and the big box retailer gets hacked, and all their numbers spill out everywhere. I've had cards replaced. The key is you're not liable for this. It will be taken care of. It's part of the insurance premium package that all banks, credit card companies, reputable finance companies are all involved in. You're not on the hook. You don't have to worry. The most annoying part about all of this is, yes, you will get a card. Most of the time it'll be overnight, or very quickly you'll get a new card. And you'll have to change your card numbers in Amazon and LastPass and other places you shop online. That's the most you'll be liable for, is making sure you're using the right card number.
Well, I will say that my dad has one of those business cards where you can add up different family members. So we all have the card, and I realized, and this is terrible, they're all the same number.
Yep.
So now with all of them the same number, you have 3 more vectors or 4 more vectors of points of failure, and it's happened where one person loses the card, they have to reissue it and go from there. But either way, yes, you're not liable. But what's going to happen in July? Coming up this July, at least if you're in the U.S., we're going to chip and pin. So you're going to have to. All credit cards are going to be reissued anyway. Mine was with the same number because my credit card just expired. They gave me a new one, but it had a nifty little chip in it. So now you're going to have to enter what's it called, 4-digit PIN. So be aware of that. And I don't know how well that's going to work with online. I figured they figured it out in Europe, and they figured it out in Japan and China and everything else. But I don't know how that's necessarily going to work at the gas station in New Jersey that's full serve, or on Amazon. Are you going to have to enter in your PIN on there? And who knows?
Yeah, there's probably a transition period. But that's why we have till July. Unfortunately, I literally just last week received a new card because my card had expired without a chip in it. I was so excited to finally get a chip and pin card. But nope, just straight up mag stripe and numbers. No security, no encryption, no cool gold chip, none of that. And it will make it a little more annoying. You're not just going to be able to swipe. And you can see it right there. It's got a little chip. You can't actually read the numbers, so that's a good thing.
Because you were hoping I didn't do that.
Yeah.
You're hoping I wouldn't show that. But yeah, it's a little chip there. I have it on one. I didn't get on the other. Yeah, so I just got a new card, another one, but I didn't get it. So
this probably should go without saying. Do not, under any circumstances, take pictures of your credit cards and post them online. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but Twitter and PhotoBucket and Instagram and Facebook and Google Plus have all proved me wrong in the past year. I have seen credit cards, like full credit cards front and back, all of it, not expired, totally in use. I have seen it on every social media platform there is. Some people don't even realize it. Some people have auto-upload and something set to public, and they take a picture, and it just happens. And now their credit cards
how it happens? I found out how this happens. When you get a new iPhone or you get a new iTunes account, you have to enter in a credit card number. You have to. Mandatory. And instead of making you type it in, Apple says, hey, would you like to take a picture of it? We'll do all the hard work.
Ooh.
Now, Apple doesn't tell you, oh, by the way, don't make this public or anything like that. They say, we'll OCR the credit card, just like Coin is going to do. And just like, what's it called? Google does, I think, with Wallet. As we talk, I'm going to check. But basically, if you take a picture of the card, we'll do the work for you.
Yeah,
and then it gets auto-uploaded.
So, and yeah, if you know, hey, look, there's no app that's looking at my photos, there's nothing auto-uploading, I'm going to delete it as soon as I'm done, so it's sitting here on my phone.
Oh, it says scan or scan credit or debit card or enter card manually. So we talked about last week about how your apps could accidentally auto-upload, Dropbox and everything else. Yeah. And Google very famously last year, for better or worse, did a year in review, and they took some private pictures, not necessarily of mine, but people have said they've taken private pictures and now they can't share it online.
Yeah, it's be careful. Your phones are probably the most volatile piece of technology you have because A, we treat it like an appliance. We don't treat it like a computer, so we don't have that kind of security mindset behind it quite yet. And B, we take a lot of photos, and stuff happens, and stuff flies out all over the internet, and unless you absolutely know what the software in your phone is doing, not that it would be sneaky on you, not that it would be spyware or malware infested, but let's say you needed the PhotoBucket app at one time, and you were just hitting next, and you weren't paying attention, and you accidentally turned on auto-upload. That stuff happens. So please don't post anything on Twitter. There's a fantastic Twitter account if you want to look for it that actually retweets debit and credit card photos to a public account, where the person on the internet is then, educated, sometimes quite harshly, by the internet at large to not ever do that again. So be careful. And same thing with checks. At least in the U.S., the checks have got, account and routing numbers at the bottom and your name and really everything you need to make an electronic check transfer or an ACH.
It's one of those, we don't want to tell everyone to go back to cash. I mean, to be honest with you, cash is also not as good. I mean, the dirt, the grime that's on cash, the no protections.
I just don't like carrying it, frankly.
Yeah, I don't either. So
I don't want to take the chance of, either losing it or getting mugged and it just being gone. Like, at least if I get mugged today, I can call up, my bank and be like, hey, look, I got mugged. I need a new card. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. All the charges for the past hour have been dropped. Like, that's kind of cool.
And I get it. You don't want to. I mean, I hear, and I don't know if this is privacy conscious or people are paranoid. I don't want to be tracked. I don't want my tracking habits. I get it. That's what credit card companies do. They do that to deliver the best whatever content, and yes, they sell it and everything else. But here's the thing, like Tom said, what's your price? Do you want to carry cash with you at all times? My wife hates cash because we can't track it. You go to the bank, you go to the ATM, and you get $60, and the next day you're there. What did you spend it on? There's no accountability unless you're meticulous in entering it into all these databases. Other than that, what did you do with that $60, that $100? You clearly spent it, but on what? At least the credit card will show you some of that, and you have the protections.
At least in the financial world, tracking works both ways. You don't necessarily get that with tracking cookies online. Like, you don't really get any benefit from tracking cookies online. But with a credit card, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, all of them, they're tracking you, they're doing behavior analysis, they're packaging the data, anonymizing it, and selling it to the highest bidder. But you can also log into the website, you can look at your purchases, you can hook it up to a service like Mint or another financial service and get pretty graphs, and you can say, oh wow, I eat a lot of fast food, I should probably cut back on that. Not that I've ever been there. But it's kind of nice. It does work both ways.
And I mean, and then at the end of the year, it can help you with tax purposes. It goes right into Quicken, and I mean, it's just different. It's just tracking your way. And yeah, you give them some information. Yes, you're giving up information. You're giving up some stuff. But here's the thing: you're giving it up to American Express. American Express does not want to lose your trust. Because if they lose their trust, you're going to pull stuff from them. You're going to pull your credit card. You're going to pull everything.
And that's why these protections exist.
So, and for them to do, and I keep on saying this to people, well, I use like I said, I use their insurance program a lot. I buy all my toys on there, and if it breaks, I have no problem. And they go, but don't you think they're gonna pull you? I go, it's a drop in the bucket. What's $100? What's $500? They make that in 10 minutes. And
if it takes that long.
Yeah. And they have insurance companies that do it. So the question then became, so why are we going to chip and pin? And I'm not the one saying this. Somebody said this. They probably saw an uptick in fraud. All these stores losing credit cards, and they saw that their margins were going down. They saw that it's more important. They're losing enough money by replacing credit cards and refunding fees than it would be to inconvenience the consumer in requiring a 4-digit PIN.
Yeah, so they could easily look and see, hey, look at this. Fraud happens this much in a place without chip and pin, and this much in a place that requires chip and pin. They're doing exactly what we talk about on this show every single week. It's not about making the target on your back disappear, because let's be honest, you can't do that unless you go live in a cave, you unplug from the internet, and you never carry a cell phone. That's ridiculous. No, they're taking the target on their back and they're making it smaller. They're making it harder to commit fraud. They're making it harder for these kind of breaches to happen because, look, that's terrible. All these credit card numbers went out, but at least the pins are safe. It helps them. It helps their bottom line. It helps you avoid getting stuff replaced. And it improves their security posture. It improves the security model of the entire system. And it'll be inconvenient, it'll be annoying, but in the end, it'll be a good thing.
Look, if they're asking you to put a 4-digit PIN in everywhere you go, I mean, at the end of the day, first, don't choose your bank PIN, but people are going to do it. But anyway,
choose something else.
Yeah, it's okay. Choose a different birth date if you're going to do that. Okay, but it's still like so you're at the gas station in New Jersey. We have full serve gas. You're going to have to get out of your car, and I think it's going to be the last straw before they get rid of full service. So I'm sad about that. But yeah, you're going to have the restaurant people are going to bring you the credit card machine, and you're going to have to put the 4-digit PIN in, or you're going to have to put this in now. You're going to be inconvenienced, but hopefully it saves you. I think just doing that every day will, one, make you more secure. You'll notice, this site didn't ask me for it. Should I be concerned? You're beefing up your security without knowing about it. And the first thing, I was actually really upset to see that $50 liability go away. I think $50 is a lot, but imagine if the credit card company charged you $25. I think you would be way more secure. And imagine if they charged Target just $10 per card, just the overnight replacement fee, and that Target had to pay that. Think about the next time Target does anything like that. Anytime some contractor says, "Oh, I need full unfettered access to your systems," or whatever it was.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to see the victims of fraud get footed with any type of bill or any type of punishment, because frankly the vast majority of fraud isn't the end user's fault. It's not the victim's fault. The majority is are leaks like this. And if that's a fantastic point. If Target had to pay just the FedEx overnight charge for each and every single replacement card for every single bank and institution, they would never make that mistake again. Now, are they making changes? We would hope so. Is it being built into standards? Sure, maybe one day. But are they actually going to feel something except for a lot of embarrassment? Not necessarily. It's kind of wild how people are afraid to use their credit cards online because it might not be secure. But then you turn around and it turns out that brick and mortar has been one of the most insecure places to use your credit cards of all time, and online has been way safer.
I mean, we just talked about how credit cards get uploaded to photo albums. The person at the restaurant, the waiter or the waitress, all they have to do is take a photo now. You don't see where they're going with the card. They don't have to write it down. I mean, all they got to do is literally take a photo.
Yeah, and it's really easy just to whip out a camera, snap one photo, put it back, you're done.
And if you just take exclusively, let's say, American Express cards, you know that they all start with the same 4 or 5 digits. So now you're only memorizing the last 4, the last 6, or the last 8. It's really easy to do. I mean, if you want to not social engineer, if you want to bring it down just to a numbers game, you just take just Amex cards because you know how they start off with, and you're done. Anything that expires in July of, 2016, how many credit cards do you need?
So at the end of the day, don't panic. Keep shopping. If you want, if you have the ability, make the switch from using a debit card primarily to a credit card. Better protections, gives you some leeway. Depending on your situation, it might be a little bit weirder or different with your budgeting. But at the end of the day, you are going to be safer for it. Just make sure you pay it off completely, every month, every 2 weeks, every however long, to avoid interest, and there's really no difference at all except added protection. And with all these leaks, because I'm sure we will see more leaks, there will be another giant leak right around the corner. Don't worry about it. It'll happen. You'll get new cards. You'll probably get some credit protection. Watch your stuff. Make sure you use the credit protection. Call up the company. Make sure there's nothing weird going on. Watch your bank statements. But at the end of the day, don't panic. There's nothing to worry about.
Okay. Now we just told everyone not to panic. Well, our time's up. Now that you're all relaxed and not panicking, We're just in time for the holiday shopping season, so go forth, spur our economy. Let's be some job creators. Don't get into debt, and we will see you next week.
Consumerism.
Okay, guys. Have a good day.
See ya.
Bye.